In greeting someone casually, you might ask them how they are. How's it going? What's up? And they will say, I can't complain. Let me warn you, don't try that on me. I can complain. I can complain with the best of them. You ask me how I'm doing, and I'll tell you to pull up a chair. I'm ready to complain. I guarantee you'll never make that mistake again. You'll see me, and it will automatically kick in. Don't ask. What do I have to complain about? I'll tell you. Each day serves to bring me a fresh thorn under my saddle. Just this morning I was given a package, told to take it to the post office, get it in the mail. It's 1 week exactly before Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Oh no, I said, don't make me do this. Can't it wait? No, I was told. It's important. You have to go this morning. What is it? I said. I'm thinking maybe it's a secret diplomatic pouch or possibly covert Soviet satellite intel for our armed forces overseas. Cookies for my mother, my wife said. There was no arguing that. I knew I'd be spending the day at the post office. I considered driving, taking the package to Grandma myself. Gas is expensive, and she lives over 1,000 miles away. It was a close call, but I went reluctantly, and reluctantly really isn't the word, to the post office. I got there early. The post office opens at 8:30 in the morning, and I got there at 8:15. Beat the crowd. I'm no fool. I counted 16 people in line ahead of me, waiting for the post office to open. The people at the front had probably been standing there all night. Still, 16 people. I can do that. There were already 16 more people behind me. I felt like I was in line to get tickets for a rock concert. At 8:30, the post office opened, and we trooped inside. Some of us got inside. I was stopped right at the door. The line stretched behind me, out of sight. Inside, there were 3 workstations to serve the public. One of them was open. The post office loses what? $50 billion a year? But they're not spending any money on clerks, not even on seasonal hires when you might expect that they'd know they'd be busy. No, Santa may be fat, but the post office was running lean. I'd say that the line moved at a glacial pace, but that would not be true. It didn't move at all. I stood there, calving mental icebergs, but it did not move. There was an elderly woman at the front with a solitary clerk. She was trying to mail a package. When John Kennedy said we would go to the moon, we got there in 8 years. We moved a lot faster than these two. The woman was about as tall as the platform in front of her, and she was hard of hearing. I knew that because the clerk was leaning over and shouting down at her. He was trying to explain the shipping options, times of delivery, and costs to her. He'd run through them and she'd say, "What? What was that?" As I stood in line, calving icebergs, I had a dream about murdering that woman. All of the people in line cheered, and I had a dream about vaulting the platform, going to another workstation, removing the "please go to another station" sign, and saying "next." Again, everyone cheered. I was a hero in my dreams. Those were nice dreams, but most of the time I was just standing there. Purgatory must be like this. I began to read notices on the wall. One of them was for someone on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. They wanted him for an alarming number of offenses. At some point, I realized that he was standing right behind me, the next guy in line. I looked at the poster, looked at him, he looked at me. I shrugged. I felt sorry for him. Everyone had their cell phones out, and they were all talking to someone, telling them what was going on, which was essentially nothing. In other words, they were all complaining. That post office was a beehive of barely whispered complaints, and everyone sounded the same. I'm standing here waiting in line. The line isn't moving. I don't know how long it's going to be. A long time. Like hissing cockroaches, they complained. I was too depressed to call anyone. The woman at the front finally made the decision on how she wanted to ship her package, and the clerk, that lunatic, instead of taking her money and saying next, everything within me was begging him to do that, but instead of doing that, this idiot said, "Will there be anything else?" I nearly screamed. And the old woman said, "Why, yes, I would like some stamps, please." And that insane post office employee said, "What kind of stamp would you prefer?" And the old woman, playing her part to perfection, said, "What have you got?" And that stupid son of a bitch behind the counter ran through the options, including a dozen seasonal stamps, a new line of celebrity stamps, our presidential stamps, the stamps of the states, replicas of famous artworks, stamps commemorating black history, women's liberation, gay rights, on, and I knew with absolute certainty that when he came to the end she would say, "Could you please repeat that?" This is what going postal is all about. I had a dream that I murdered the old woman, jumped the platform, killed the clerk, and the crowd went wild. I was a liberator, the new Che Guevara. Did I do that? I don't know. I might have. I'm sketchy on the details after that bit with the stamps. I don't remember anything until I got home, shortly after 6 o'clock at night, and I was asked if I had mailed the package. I checked. I was no longer holding the package, so I said yes.